Well, howdy everyone. This is my 75-gallon planted tank, and I wet my plants, and I'm not embarrassed or ashamed about it either. There's a lot going on in this tank, and so this video might take a while. I'll try not to ramble too much, but this has been up and running in one form or another for quite a few years. It started out as a saltwater tank, and I was growing acropora and other hard corals, and the problem is they need really clean water, and plants can't grow in it. And I really wanted to grow plants. There's a lot of cool ocean plants, but they won't grow with stony corals because there's no food in the water for them. So eventually I got tired of all the upkeep. It's really hard to maintain a coral tank, and I tore this tank down and I started a planted tank. And the substrate in here is Eco Complete. It's pretty cool because it comes wet, and you don't rinse it. You just put it in and you plant your plants. It has beneficial bacteria in it to help the tank cycle. And so anyway, there's a lot of different plants in here. You can start a planted tank real easy, and if you're into growing things, it's a whole other world. And I think you would like it. But you know, for me, I have kind of neglected this tank for a while, so I've been planting a lot of new stuff in here. So let's go through the plants first, and then we'll get to the fish. This is a storagine. It's a carpeting plant, so eventually it will spread out. This is a stem plant I put in. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's an ammonia, but I'm not sure. And then behind it there's some bacopa. There's a pretty thick stand of these here. These are crypts. They're supposed to be red. There is some red in them, but this is a low-tech tank. If I had CO2 in here, a lot more things would be red. But, you know, I don't want to overcomplicate it. I just want to grow plants and raise some fish. So, over here, have some more of that carpet plant. This is a bunch. I'm not sure what it is because I got a whole bunch of plants and they didn't bother to label them, so I don't know what I have. Behind all the bubbles is an anacris, and they do really well. Then down here is a red tiger lotus, tiger lily. And then this is Anubias barteri that I just put in here. Same thing for this Java fern here. It's new. This is another Anubias, and there's one there, and there's one here. These were cuttings from a plant in one of my other tanks, so they're just getting started. Then in the back row, have another crypt. This plant is called Pogostenum octopus, and it grows really fast. It was actually 3 times the size, and I cut it way back. And over here is my African onion plant, and there's a sword back there, and so much for the plants. Now for the fish, This right here is a Bosemani rainbow fish, and they take a long time to color, but when they do, they're blue in the front and they're orange in the back, and they're peaceful, they're easy. Let's see what else we have here. There's a female over here. You can see her belly's all bulging. She's probably carrying eggs. I also put in, just the other day, 2 dwarf gouramis, and I think there's one right there. They're pretty small, and there's the male. The females are just kind of brown. There's a lot of stuff floating around in here. This tank has it has a Finex Stingray light, which is adequate. It's good for plants. It's not as bright as the lights I used for my corals, but it works. And of course, we got this koi angel here. He thinks he's the boss of the tank, although I'm not sure anybody else agrees with him. But he likes to chase people around sometimes. Over here, I think we have poking out. Yeah, this is one of my Cynodontis catfish. They're crazy. They swim in all kinds of crazy loops and twists and turns. And they're nocturnal. They mostly come out at night. And the angel likes to chase them because he doesn't get to see them during the day. So here's a couple of cories. They're pretty cool little catfish. They work the ground and they eat leftover fish food. And these are Sturbe cories, and they're kind of fun to watch. Usually they like to be in groups. I think I have a little bit more than 2, but I'm not sure. It's pretty easy to hide in here. So one of the things about this tank, I have an upstairs apartment and I can't afford to have any drips, and I've had them. So I went out and I got these sponge filters, and they do okay, but what I just added today, and this is why the water is cloudy, I had 2 of them, and I took one out, and I think you can see back here, this is a Penplax, it's Cascade 600. It's only supposed to be good for 50 gallons, and that's okay. It hides pretty well behind these plants, really, and it has a spray bar which sprays out water into the tank. Eventually all this particulate matter will get sucked in and trapped by the sponge filter in there, and there's also activated carbon in there. This is the female, I think. No, that's the male. Anyway, there's the female gourami. If you're interested, it's pretty easy to start a planted tank. You can get for, like a 10-gallon tank kit for $100. Throw some gravel in it, or preferably Eco Complete, and you can start planting plants right away. However, for fish, you need to cycle your tank. You need to establish a nitrogen cycle, and if you don't, you'll be dealing with what's called new tank syndrome. Your fish will die from ammonia toxicity. You need to develop beneficial bacteria. They convert ammonia into nitrites, and then they convert nitrites into nitrates, and fish can handle, some fish can handle nitrates. I keep discus. They need super clean water, but most common tank fish, they can take some nitrate in there. and it won't kill them. This tank's really been pretty low maintenance. Actually, I've just changed the water for the first time in 2 years. What happens is the plants, they really help control the water quality. And I want to mention that the larger the tank, the easier it is to maintain the water quality. So yes, you can start small, but I would say buy the largest size tank you can afford, you know, and start there. And like I said, you can go immediately with plants, but you have to wait for your tank to cycle to add fish. So anyway, like I said, I have this new filter in here, and I think it's going to work out pretty good. Like I said, it's for 50 gallons. This is a 75, but I've got the sponge filter over here. They work really good, but they don't pull in a lot of water. So the problem I've had is a lot of the uneaten fish food would wind up settling in this corner. So I needed more flow. I needed to stir up the water a little bit, and that way the stuff that falls to the bottom will hopefully get sucked up. I mean, I do go through with a siphon hose and clean it out from time to time, but this has been a pretty low maintenance tank. I don't have any algae problems really. I leave a little bit on the glass for the snails to eat, but basically the only thing I do in here is scrape some film algae off the glass every couple of weeks, and the rest of it pretty much runs itself, which is kind of cool, and it's fun. It's nice to have living things, and this tank is full of them. So there's no CO2, you don't need it, and you do need a heater because these are tropical plants, and like I said, I would use Echo Complete for your gravel, and then you can add rocks or driftwood. These rocks came from my saltwater tank. I just rinsed them off and put them in, and there's more behind all these crypts. The rocks are good. They give, you know, if you stack them right, they give fish a place to hide and all that, and they also help hold bacteria, beneficial bacteria in. So that's good. I don't really do much as far as fertilizing. I do add root tabs when I have sword plants, because they do really well with it, and they're more of the type of plant that feeds off the soil. A lot of the plants in here are what you would call stem plants, and what you want to do with those is when they get too tall, you top them and you plant the top half and they grow all over again. But it's an ongoing process here, so I've been planning this up, and I think it's going to look really good in a month or two. And I don't know where those cories went. They're usually out digging around. Anyway, there's a lot going on in here, and so this guy here, he thinks he's the tank boss. He's probably the biggest fish in there, but nobody seems to pay him much attention. He just chases people now and then so that they know he's there. No real fighting or anything like that. You know, fish, it's what they do. They chase each other. As long as they're not taking chunks out of each other's fins or anything like that, you're good. So I would really recommend starting a planted tank. You know, if you're not going to add fish, nothing gets any easier. You don't even really need to change the water very often. You know, but there's a learning curve. You will probably have algae at first until the tank, once the tank balances out. These guys here, these catfish, they're just crazy. I just really like watching them, but I only get to see them in the evening. They don't come out much during the day, and they're kind of reclusive. They hide a lot in these crypts, and but I think they're cool. They kind of remind me of little sharks. And they're, you know, they're kind of primitive, and you know, they're bulletproof. I mean, these are, I think it's a Cynodontis petricola, if I'm not mistaken. There is a larger version that I used to have. It's, I forget the full name, but it's the cuckoo catfish, and that one is really crazy. It sticks its eggs in with cichlid eggs, and the cichlids, they're mouth brooders, so the cichlids wind up raising their young, and their young hatch before the cichlids do, and they eat them all up. And then you got this fish saying, "Where'd that come from? That don't even look like me. Who's your daddy?" But anyway, those are related to the ones in here. They're just bigger, and but they look a lot the same. So this is my 75-gallon planted tank. I don't know if you learned anything from this or not, but you know, check it out and give yourself some time and learn about keeping a planted tank, and I think you'll be happy with it if you do. Anyway, this is my tank, and I hope this video helped you out. If you're into it, you can always leave a question in the comments, and I'll try to answer and help you out. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I know it's long, and I know I did ramble. I said I wasn't going to, but you know, I'm only human. So anyhow, take good care of yourselves. Happy gardening. Don't forget, stay green, and you can keep it a little wet too.